In a peaceful village nestled between mountains, there lived a young man named Leo. Leo was hardworking and kind, but he had one habit that made him unhappy. He always compared himself to others. He looked at his friends, his neighbors, and even strangers, wondering why their lives seemed better than his. One day, while walking through the village market, Leo saw his childhood friend, Ethan, dressed in fine clothes and talking with confidence. Ethan had moved to the city years ago and now had a successful business. Leo sighed and thought, why can't I be like him? He has everything, a big house, money, and respect. I am just an ordinary farmer. Feeling sad, Leo walked home and sat under an old tree near his farm. His grandfather, a wise old man, noticed his troubled face and sat beside him. What's wrong, Leo? His grandfather asked gently. Leo hesitated, but then spoke. Grandfather, I feel like a failure. Ethan is successful, and I am just a simple farmer. I work hard every day, but I am still not as rich or respected as others. I wish my life was different. The old man smiled and pointed at the tree they were sitting under. Leo, do you see this tree? Yes, grandfather. It's been here since I was a child, Leo replied. Now, look at that small plant growing nearby. Do you think this plant feels sad because it's not as big as this tree? Leo frowned. No, grandfather. A plant doesn't think like that. Exactly, the old man said. This tree and the plant have different purposes. The tree gives shade and bears fruit, while the plant is still growing. One day, it may become a big tree too, but it will happen in its own time. Leo listened carefully as his grandfather continued. You are like this tree, and Ethan is like another tree. Maybe his tree grew faster, but that doesn't mean your tree is any less important. Every person has a different journey, a different season of growth. Comparing yourself to others is like asking a fish to climb a tree. It's pointless and unfair. Leo nodded slowly, understanding his grandfather's words. But deep inside, he still felt a little unsure. Seeing this, his grandfather stood up and said, Come with me. They walked towards a river flowing behind their house. The water sparkled in the sunlight, and birds chirped nearby. Look at the river, Leo. It flows smoothly, never stopping. It does not worry about the mountains or the trees around it. It just keeps moving forward. Leo watched the river, and a sense of peace washed over him. Life is like this river, his grandfather continued. Your only job is to keep moving forward, doing your best. Stop looking at others and start appreciating your own journey. Focus on your own path, and happiness will follow. Leo smiled for the first time that day. He realized that comparing himself to others was making him blind to his own blessings. He had a loving family, a beautiful farm, and a peaceful life. From that day onward, Leo changed his perspective. Instead of comparing himself to others, he focused on becoming a better version of himself. He learned new farming techniques, helped his neighbors, and even started teaching young children in the village about farming. Years passed, and Leo became a respected member of the village. One day, Ethan returned to visit, and this time, he looked tired and stressed. Leo welcomed him warmly. As they sat under the same old tree, Ethan sighed and said, Leo, I admire you. Your life is peaceful and full of meaning. I have money, but I am always under pressure. Sometimes, I wish I had a simple and fulfilling life like yours. Leo smiled, remembering his grandfather's words. Every person has a different journey, Ethan. You have your path, and I have mine. The secret to happiness is accepting and appreciating what we have. Ethan nodded, understanding the wisdom in Leo's words. And so, Leo lived the rest of his life with gratitude and peace, never again comparing himself to others. He had learned that the only person he needed to compete with was himself, the Leo of yesterday. Moral of the story: everyone has their own journey in life. Comparing yourself to others will only bring sadness and doubt. Instead, Focus on your own growth. Be grateful for what you have and move forward like a river. Happiness comes when you accept yourself and trust in your own path.